Hi everyone,
Hi,
I'm Lisa,
I'm Renee.
and together
We are the Tapping Duo. Welcome back.
We thought we'd review last night, So You Think You Can Dance.
So what'd you think?
I have a lot of more of the same. I think there was only one or two numbers that actually stood out in my head.
So why don't we do this today? Why don't we talk about things that stood out
Okay,
and not waste our time on stuff that was the same?
okay,
How's that sound?
that sounds great. So the first thing, which was very obvious in my head, was Jim and Yaya's animation. I thought he was phenomenal. Going from a ballet dancer, you can't get more uptight, so to speak, and controlled, to a hip-hop animation. And I thought he was phenomenal.
Well, it's against everything they learn, right?
Everything they learned.
I mean,
shoulders
you had
forward, not shoulders back.
Right.
You know, into the ground, not up. And so,
to break all those habits.
yes.
It's really hard.
And I wished there was more of that. I find that they're still coddling the street dancers. They're not pushing them beyond their skill set. I think there's only one street dancer that was pushed. Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think the only... What street dancer do you think was pushed?
Ariana. She and Derek did a jazz routine. It was like the second number in.
Well, it was classic jazz.
It was classic jazz.
Classic jazz.
And I thought she did a great job. Now, whether she's had training or not, I don't know. Or she's a natural dancer, which is very possible.
Yeah.
I thought it was phenomenal. Which stood out for you?
Jim doing the street number. Because I appreciate all his training, and it's against everything, like we just talked about, that he was supposed to learn. So I thought he did a great job on that. I love Virgil. I think Virgil. I don't think they talk enough about his dancing, because he's really good dancer too, and they only talk about his personality. But I love that his personality is so big and so fun, because it kind of overshadows his dancing, which means you love him as a dancer. You know, it's not like, okay, he's a great dancer, but where's he smiling? Where's his personality? Where's he coming from?
Right.
He's actually got the personality, and the dancing just happens. So
Right.
I love that about him.
I think that the problem that we noticed a couple weeks ago with the stage versus street was that the street's personalities are still so much bigger than the stage personalities, and the technique of the stage is so far superior to the street, but I'm not seeing either coming towards the center. Growth. Would you agree or disagree?
No, I think when they blend them together, you know, like, I think it was Twitch was not afraid, but really wanted I can't remember who she is yet, but he was worried that she wouldn't come to the plate to do the contemporary number she was supposed to do. And she did an amazing job. And I can't think of her name, I'm sorry. But she really, really did a wonderful job. I'm missing the ballroom, not necessarily the ballroom style of dancing, like the quick step, the waltz, all that. I'm missing how the kids look when they do it.
The caliber.
The caliber of the lifting, not the ballet lift, but the ballroom lift of the strength in their legs, and the strength of their toes, and the extension of their arms, and
the precision of those movements.
And when they try to do something out of their caliber, they can't bring any of that to it. Now, I know that the other dancers improved on the other shows because they had ballroom. And they learned to move that way. But I'm not sure with contemporary and street. What I'm seeing is they're almost the same, and contemporary is just softer version of the street.
Yes. And even Bollywood is a lot of street and just fast, but not necessarily that elegance of some of the other genres. So I'm hoping next week we get a little more breadth. I think it's just too narrow a show right now.
Yeah, I feel every number looks the same. I wish I didn't. I'm not trying to be overly critical. I think the choreography separately is amazing, because they always do. I mean, you got top great choreographers here.
Right.
Not a fan of a lot of the music.
I was just going to say, all the music's starting to sound the same.
Yeah, because they're using that off-edge music, and it's nothing that, not that I want them to use contemporary music that we're listening to, but last week when they did Body Language, that was from Queen. That was a great, different sounding song that they could do something different to.
Right.
I was telling Lisa I love learning terminology, so I love that, what is this called, you guys? The lotus. What is this? It's the deer. And then when they put their arms back and their legs back at the same time, I think they call that skating. And then, of course, we have namaste. And then the front ball change they did with their foot as their knee comes up is basically if you're in tap dancing, that's a front ball change. But they called it stomp the bug. And then the Superman position of one arm up and then holding the other foot and then bringing it in looked like the sprinkler, without moving. So I think it's fun to see them do that. Bollywood numbers are always fun.
Right.
And if you ever want to go see a Bollywood movie, go see one. The music's great. The people are gorgeous. And the dancing's wonderful. And they sing great, too. Bollywood movies are fun.
Yeah.
They're full of dance and color.
I would agree. Now, at the end of the show, they sent 2 people home. Now, I know you really liked Lily.
Well, I thought
For
she
a
was full
street
of...
dancer.
Yeah, she was full of personality, She always smiled, and I liked her. I was sad to see her go. I wasn't sad to see... Darian go because he was the other ballet dancer, right?
Right.
And he just wasn't as strong to me as Jim was, even when they danced together. He.
Well, Darian it was between Derek, Darian, and Moses, and it was Darian that went home. But I'm guessing that Moses or Derek will be on the chopping block next week because I don't know that Moses has the strength to carry on.
Yeah. Well, I would agree with you on that too.
As far as the street that were in the bottom 3, I didn't think any of them should have been in the bottom 3. They had Ariana and Lily and Neptune. I thought they all, at least this week, were superb.
Well, especially Neptune with his name. You think they just stick him in there because of his name. You know how sometimes people do that. They like the quirky little names and they stay.
Yes.
So they didn't talk about Gabby this week, which I thought was interesting because they usually talk about how, she's...
Mm-hmm. They promote their favorite dancer, right?
Yeah, they do.
So
I didn't agree with Nigel on a lot of stuff. I listened to a little bit. I didn't listen to anything Paula had to say because I knew it'd all be positive, which is great. And then, but I listened to Nigel a little bit, and I disagreed with him a lot because I think he's really trying to prove his point that this show's going to work. And I would love to see the kids grow in a ballroom way too, because I think that will take him another. Okay,
it will give them exposure that they wouldn't otherwise get.
Right, and we were discussing the last 2 numbers real quickly here. I loved the teeter-totter number only because of the precision it takes to get 2 people on a teeter-totter, to have all of them, you're going like this with 2 people here and here and here and here, and they have to hit it at the same time. You've got different weights.
Right.
On both sides. They don't all weigh the same. You have to hit your feet and your balance to change your weight just right to have everything go down at the same time and up at the same time. And you're moving and animating and doing whatever it is you do, right?
Yes.
So I thought that was a brilliant piece of choreography. And the music was quirky, and I thought he did a great job. Who
I don't
choreographed that number
disagree with
anyway?
it being
Christopher Scott.
With it being amazing and the kids doing a great job. I was just trying to figure out why did we have those 2 numbers at the end of the show. I find that a lot of the show is just filler. And I get... Move them forward in their individual dance. If that's where we're going to move them, challenge them there. Why are you taking my time for group numbers except for entertainment value? But, that's just my
because it's entertainment, too.
Yeah, well, they feel they need to have a 2-hour show, and I'm not sure they need to have a 2-hour show.
No, they only need an hour show, but they need the sponsors for the 2-hour show to pay for the show.
I know.
Because it's 45 minutes of commercials?
Yeah, at least.
And 45 minutes of Kat Deely trying to be cute.
Yes.
Yeah, she's fine. I wanted to talk about this stage as well, because I was telling Lisa about how when I go to a movie, sometimes I don't like the movie at all, and then at the end of the movie, it wins me over because of the way it ends. And that's how the stage number was for me. I thought the stage number was fine. And I thought it was really beautifully done. Travis, congratulations, and also, was it Christopher Scott or the Spencer that got nominated? One of them got nominated for an Emmy. Anyway, you might want to tell us that. I can't remember. Anyway, when they did the pirouette turn at the end, the jazz pirouette, and then they slowed the pirouette down, and then fell to the floor and rolled, that won me over. The control, that they were all at the same time, and nobody fell out.
But they're trained to do that. They're trained to do that.
They're individually trained to do that, but in a group, to get them all to do that, I thought that was beautifully done. And put with that music, if you hear the music that's there. Anyway, it took me to the end of the show, at the end of that dance, to like that piece of choreography. I went, there we go. That would have made me stand up. If that hadn't happened, I would have gone, okay, it looked like everything else. You know? So,
well, and for me, it didn't. It was nice. It was lovely. But I expected that from that caliber of stage dancers. Whether they do it, learn it individually, they all come together. It's what I expect from them. So it wasn't a shock for me.
yeah, Lisa's a little disturbed with the non-growth. Is every week going to look? Now, next week's exactly like this, you know. I agree with her in a lot of it. I'm like, okay, this dance looks like the last dance.
Yeah.
You know, this music sounds like the last sounding music, you know.
And it's nothing against the choreographers, because I do think they're doing an amazing job.
They are.
And
They
it's
really
nothing
are.
against the dancers, but however the show is being set up, we need a jump forward.
Well, I think it's the ballroom that's missing, because there is no elegance. There is no waltz. There is no Viennese waltz. There's none of that music either.
Right.
So, you know,
And you're right, they're not learning that carriage, which would carry over to other genres of dance.
Right.
You know, like they used to say, always have ballet, because you need that in any form of dance that you do. Well, I think you might be right. You need some ballroom in there as well.
Well, you know darn well those ballroom people take ballet.
Yes.
They have to. I mean, they have to be strong like that, because all these dancers are athletes.
Right.
So, anyway.
Okay, well, we'll be back next week with our review.
If you have anything to say, we'd love to hear from you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.